Well, tens of thousands of people jammed into 12 blocks of San Francisco today for the annual Fillmore Jazz Festival, but it almost didn't happen this year. In April, organizers announced that the event would be canceled for financial reasons, only to be saved by an anonymous donor. John Ramos explains what happened and why the future of the event may still be in doubt.
After an initial scare, the Fillmore Jazz Festival is back on the streets of San Francisco this weekend. But there may be a lesson in it that sometimes the biggest obstacle to having things like this could be the city itself. From the smooth sounds of Brazilian jazz to the joyful gospel music of Glide Memorial Church, the Fillmore Jazz Festival is a two-day tradition honoring styles of music that once earned the neighborhood the nickname the Harlem of San Francisco.
You see it, it's a great event. It's a great event and it's a nice area. Fillmore District's really famous. It's been around for a while.
And it's happening at a time when things can be pretty quiet in the city.
What weekend it's normally dormant, July 4th. Tends to all the San Francisco's leave, and we're going to have 30,000 people coming up and down the corridor 2 days, 30,000 each day.
Tim Omi is the president of the Fillmore Merchant Association and the head of a three-person team that puts on the Jazz Festival each year. But 3 months ago, he announced that it would be canceled for reasons that he struggled to describe diplomatically.
The emphasis was based on an inefficient policy, and now we have to identify efficiencies, and I feel like the new mayor, working with them and the new department, we can find those and potentially cut through some of the major holdups.
In other words, the city charges a fortune to put on public street festivals. Omi says each traffic control officer costs about $230 per hour, and organizers have to pay to have the trash properly separated before disposal. And because Fillmore is a transit corridor, they have to pay to detour the buses for the weekend. All in all, it drives the cost of the event up over $500,000, something that the nonprofit simply can't handle anymore.
Fillmore Street Jazz Festival would not have happened if it wasn't for one distinct large donation that came from a concerned individual who basically said this is a cultural heritage, this is an event that's been going on for 40, 50 years. So, you know, and he came in and he stepped up to the plate. But we're saying, okay, what happens next year or the following years?
Mario Moganum is president of a philanthropic group called Avenue Greenlight that, since the pandemic, has provided grants for community projects to help business districts in the city. Recently, they raised private funding to help power wash city sidewalks.
We can come in and we can clean the streets, and we can hand you a nice clean slate, but I really want to conscript the city to help be part of the solution.
There's so much that needs to be done, and if we can all do our part, it's really important. And if we can make the sidewalks a little bit cleaner, if we can put up lighting, and then other organizations are filling in other gaps, you know, I think that we're all working together to make our city amazing.
But those gaps are areas that some think should be the city's responsibility. Private donors are having to step up to cover the costs instead. Avenue Greenlight doesn't mind helping out, but they do have one request.
Don't treat us like tourists. Sometimes the city sees us as an opportunity, like some other large productions, where it's a financial opportunity to charge for services, but we're much different than that, and that's what Avenue Greenlight is supporting.
Lots of people are working to shed San Francisco of its doom loop image. If it takes private citizens to do that, so be it. But it would be nice if the city didn't get in their way.
The Jazz Festival's organizers say they are encouraged by the willingness of Mayor Lurie's new administration to look for ways to make planning events easier and less costly.